Welcome back into the Pig Trail Show. Evan Camico, this time alongside our Hog Hoops insider, Kevin McPherson. Kevin, it's another Sunday. Hogs played yesterday. Always a great time sitting down to chat with you.
Yeah, the football Hogs got out of the gates right, 1-0. And so we know basketball's not that far along. Most Hog fans right now are kind of dialed into that football part of it. But look, everything that's going on right now, especially in recruiting for basketball, matters. And I can't wait to talk about it because there's a lot of names and a lot of upcoming visits to go through, Evan.
So let's jump right into it. Who are some of those upcoming visits that you're looking forward to the most?
Well, it gets started later this week. We know, and we've been talking about it, but the class of 2024, Jalen Shelley, one of those versatile 3-4 wings, 6'7", 6'8". He's rated nationally. Just about every service has him in the top 40, top 35. So he's a guy that's, I've say it all the time, knocking on that on the door of 5-star status. But he'll have his official visit at the end of the week, really September 8th. So Arkansas football will host Kent State on Saturday the 9th, but on Friday is the bulk of the official visit day for Jalen Shelley. He's a guy that Arkansas, talking about football, his brother Jason last year led Missouri State into Reynolds Razorback Stadium and gave Arkansas quite a scare. Arkansas had to come back against Missouri State and pull it out in the fourth quarter, but Jalen Shelley was there to see his older brother play quarterback and have a great game. He was on an unofficial visit this time a year ago. So this is a chance to come back. We know Arkansas has continued to recruit him. Obviously, he's got a scholarship offer from the Razorbacks. But I really love, when I look at this guy, his length, his ability to get, not only slash the basket, but attack the rim when he gets in the paint. And then he's got that guy, when you look at his versatility, is a guy that's going to, kind of translate to that 3-4 combo because he can guard multiple positions. The other thing I like about Jalen Shelley, his skill level, his shooting, his face-up stuff's emerging. But again, it'll be his second, at minimum, his second time on campus. This time it's the official visit. But what I, when I really look at this player, Evan, and I start thinking about what, being a Texas guy, we know that Arkansas has done well recruiting from Texas. He'll play his senior season at Link Academy up there in Springfield, Missouri, not far away. It's in that footprint for Fayetteville. Who else do we know that did that? Jordan Walls, Texas guy, DFW guy, played at Link and helped that team get to the Geico National Championship game. But either way, they're similar position-wise, similar size. So you got to think that Arkansas is going to show Jalen Shelley the blueprint on his visit. Look what happened. The last guy from Texas that played your position, had your size, went to Link for a year, ended up being a one and done, and ended up going in the NBA draft after that freshman season. So I think Arkansas is getting this September, October visit slate. There's a lot of names we're going to get to, but I think they're getting it off to a good foot. And I think Arkansas is in great shape with Jalen Shelley. The day later, on September 9th, we talked about the football Hogs playing that day, but Arkansas is going to have an unofficial visit from class of 2025. Malachi Moreno, 6'11" forward center out of Georgetown, Kentucky, right there in the Kentucky Wildcats' backyard. But he's a guy that, when you look at 6'11" and a top 50 player, those don't grow on trees. I talk about all the time. Players with that kind of 4-5 stuff they bring to the table, they're highly coveted. And get someone like that on campus. Arkansas has been pursuing this guy for months and months and months. His Arkansas offer wasn't that long ago, but the recruitment's been steady. There's been a great relationship established so far. I think he's excited to come on this unofficial visit. Anytime you get a player that caliber out of the backyard, just to come on to campus of one of your conference foes. And again, I mentioned how, 6'11", that's big time. It's great getting him on campus, even for an unofficial visit at this stage. But Malachi Moreno will be in on Saturday the 9th when Arkansas hosts Kent State. And then we just keep moving along. September 16th, which will be Arkansas hosting BYU, game 3 on the football schedule at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. But you're going to have Isaiah Elohim, a national top 25 from the class of 2024. So we're getting back to 2024. And the reason we keep a closer eye on that right now, all these visits matter, is because that early signing period for these upcoming seniors is just in November. That's effectively 2 months out. We're right there. So these visits matter, these official visits. But Elohim is a 6'5" slasher, has good craft and skill getting to the basket, strong guard. He's a guy that's going to knock down the spot up three. but I really like this player. But he's a guy that's taken multiple visits. He's got some that he recently scheduled with Villanova and USC, another one scheduled with Providence. But Arkansas on September 16th. Arkansas is also on that date for the BYU game, going to have a class of 2026 prospect right here out of Central Arkansas. Jacob Lanier, a 6'6" guard out in Maumelle. He recently picked up his Hog offer about 6 weeks or so ago. But he's been on campus before, but he will be in attendance for that football game. So here's another young player from Central Arkansas who's got strong interest in the Razorbacks coming up for the game. So that's on the 16th against BYU. Then we're going to move into October because the next publicly announced visit is another official visit from the class of 2024. Raquise Passmore, an explosive, athletic 6'5" wing, small forward at a Combine Academy in North Carolina. He's another guy that's in the middle of taking a lot of September visits, but October 7th, that's a Friday, is his official visit date to Arkansas, Evan. And that's a date where it's on a Friday, but the football Hogs will be on the road on Saturday at Ole Miss. But all these players, by the way, when they're on campus, they're going to be able to attend the basketball team practices. That's a big deal as well. So a lot of these young men are targeting attendance at the football game, but getting to go be a part of and see the basketball team practice is always important when you get them on campus. Okay, so we're going to matriculate down the field in October a little bit because Arkansas on the 28th, it's an open date for the football Hogs, and it's a perfect Saturday for Arkansas to host Purdue in that charity exhibition game. You and I've talked a lot about that.
Yep.
But another class of 2025, another 6'5" player, a wing out of Dynasty Prep in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, another Texas player. But Jermaine O'Neal Jr. will be on an unofficial visit to go and watch that game. Now, this will be a game that Arkansas is going to have more visitors in. We'll be able to talk about that more as we move along. But that's one that's out there publicly right now. Jermaine O'Neal Jr.'s dad famously was a none and done, came straight out of high school back in the day, and a player that was an all-star with the Indiana Pacers. That was probably his best stretch in the pros. But a journeyman and a great NBA player, but a player who was on the Portland Trailblazers. That was the organization that drafted him, Jermaine O'Neal Sr., and that was at a time when Bill Musselman, Eric Musselman's father, was an assistant coach. So there are ties there, and you got to believe that plays into this visit. Some of this stuff we're covering what we talked about a week ago, but as we continue to go along, it's always important to point out, if you look around college football opening weekend, a lot of the SEC schools are hosting non-conference opponents, and they were getting some basketball visitors in. Arkansas opened up in Little Rock, didn't have a game in Central Arkansas last year, opened up Little Rock, as we know. So you didn't have visitors on campus. Arkansas is going to get a little bit of a late start on that. So they're a little bit behind just in terms of, it was a perfect weekend. So you hope some of these ones that are coming up will be nice as well. But I make that point to make this point. One player from Central Arkansas, 2025, Terrion Burgess, we've spoken a lot about him. 7 Sports just updated its prospect rankings. Number 25 player in the nation in that class. So a high-level 4-star. He's really close to 5-star status. 6'9" combo forward out of Benton. Plays locally in the grassroots spring and summer with the 17U Arkansas Hogs on the Adidas 3SSB shoe circuit. But he was on he attended the Arkansas Western Carolina football game. We got a picture of him there and tweeted that out yesterday. But his interest is really high. He's taken multiple unofficial visits to Arkansas, attended basketball games. I'm sure he'll be attending several games for football and basketball as the 23-24 academic calendar moves forward. But he got off to a great start by being in seeing that atmosphere, being around Hog fans. Even if it's not an unofficial visit on campus, Terrion Burgess made a point to be part of what the Razorbacks had going on with that opening weekend yesterday. So recruiting right now, Evan, you see all these names, you hear all these names. There'll be more. I really like where Arkansas sits with Shelley. We know K. Honor Boateng, class of 2024, national top 30 from Little Rock Central, took his visit in late July. He's also visited Missouri. Georgia Tech was up next over the weekend. So you've got several moving pieces with Boateng to see whether he continues to take the visits he's planned, a total of 6, or if he's going to at some point shut it down. I do know Arkansas felt great about the visit when he was in Fayetteville. I know that Boateng and his family felt the same. And I know Arkansas continues to pursue that, continues to keep contact. And so we'll see how that one plays out. But of all the names we just went through, we went through 4 in class of 2024 when we included Boateng. And if you notice, it's that 6'5" to 6'7", 6'8", that either wing, versatile defender 1 through 3, 3-4 combo, versatile defender 3 and 4, and maybe can slide over and help with some guard action on defensively. But I think keeping an eye on 2024, as I always say, I look for Arkansas to eventually come out with 2 players, potentially 3, but probably 2. And we'll see if it's from these group of names that we've mentioned, because Arkansas seems kind of laser focused on 1 or 2 positions there.
Versatility and size, the name of the game for Eric Musselman when it comes to recruiting. All right, let's talk about Pro Hogs. Team USA back in action this morning. They actually lost to Lithuania. I believe the final score was 109 to 105. But talk to us about how Bobby Portis looked. And again, he's been one of those steady contributors each and every game for the Americans.
He was, and I think they waited a little too late to go to him. It was about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. They were down by 21. When he checked in, they were down. The team was down 18. And I thought they needed his toughness and energy. They looked a little lethargic, especially closing out on that 3-point shooting. Lithuania started 9 of 9 from 3, built a 21-point lead. And even though Team USA cracked within 4 or 5 points later on in the second half, could never get over the hump. But Bobby Portis comes in, immediately infuses energy, scored his only field goal attempt in those last 4 minutes of the second quarter of the first half, got 3 rebounds, had an assist. He got in, checked in late in the third quarter, about 2 minutes to go, played about 4 minutes from 2 minutes to end the third quarter, about 3.5, 4 minutes into the fourth. But I thought he gave Team USA a lot of great plays. For one thing, Team USA got destroyed on the offensive glass. They got beat up on the glass overall, but Portis did his own in 11 minutes, 6 rebounds, finished with 7 points, 3 of 4 field goals, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, ended up with a couple of assists. And he had some hustle plays that ended up winning Team USA an extra possession, even though it didn't show up in the box score. So I thought Bobby probably, instead of 11 minutes, most of those coming in the second half, I thought he should have been a 15 to 18 minute guy today, with a lot more action in that with some action in the first quarter and a lot more in the first half. I think it would have helped Team USA maybe stay even closer and not fall as far behind. But they're 4-1 now. Group play is over. It's to the quarterfinals. Team USA does advance with a 4-1 record, where they'll face Italy on Tuesday morning early. All these games are early over here. They're at night over there in the Philippines. But Portis has been a big part of the team getting to 4-1. And I thought his minutes and his impact were positive today in a game where they could have used a little more Bobby Portis.
And yeah, USA, like you said, they'll play Italy a little later this week. But that's going to do it for your Hogs Hoops. More Pictorial Show coming up after the break. That's Kevin McPherson. I'm Evan Kamiko. We'll see you in just a moment.